So, this is part two of details on the deal that Netflix and Warner are combining. They're merging as one, and the curiosity has been, for at least for the first few years, will be what are the plans? What is Netflix's plans? Because we all know what Netflix is. We all know how they are with the theatrical business. They're like, we want theaters, movie theaters to bed to the ground so everyone can sit on their ass and watch Netflix all day, right? That's their dream. So everyone's like, oh shit, what's going to happen? The second thing is what's going to happen with HBO, because are they going to keep it separate? Are they going to merge the two? Are we going to have like, I don't know, HBO Flix or Net Max? HBO you know, Netflix HBO Max? I don't know, some weird merge of the name. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked. What it will be is, if they did it, it'll just be HBO, a Netflix company. That's probably what will be called. Um, but we got some details now. We got some details on the actual deal itself. Even how much money they threw at this. It's more than even Disney did when they bought Fox. Let's read this article together in Hawaii. As it reads, if I get it up, as it reads, Netflix to buy Warner Bros. And HBO Max in a can't wait, $82.7 billion deal. Whew. I would like $82.7 billion. If someone likes to give it to me, I would love to have that. It says official Netflix and Warner Bros. Starting announced an agreement Friday under which Netflix will acquire Warner Bros., including its film and television studios, HBO Max and HBO. The deal has a total enterprise value, including debt, of approximately 82.7 billion, with a quality value of 72 billion. The companies have said the announcement on Netflix's deal to buy the Warner Bros. Streaming and studios business came under weeks long bidding war that pits the streaming giant against David Anderson's Paramount Skydance. That Christ didn't get that one after that one, you little letter. And Comcast. News broke Thursday evening that Netflix has entered into negotiations with Warner Bros. Starting on a deal for Warner Bros. And HBO Max. Netflix said it's experts to remain. This is what I love. To remain Warner Bros. Current operations and build on its strengths, including the actual releases of films. Yes. Currently, Warner Bros. Has set deals to release films in theaters through 2029. So my guess, I'll pause here a little bit. This is what I think that's translating to is a testing ground. Through 2029, by 2029 and by 2030, they'll have a look and say, is this worth it? Should we still do the actual business? Should we not? Should we do? What is the case? And I wouldn't be shocked that what they'll do is, if your film is like the quality of Frankenstein, or if your film is a Knives Out, or if your film is Irishman, those, the ones, because they want to be qualified to Oscars, they want to be, taken seriously, but they keep getting knocked down and keep getting mocked at and saying, like, you are not a real movie studio because you don't put your movies in theaters properly. So what you do, you get a major studio and slap and put those movies in. Yeah. So, and I'm really curious about CinemaCon, because that's gonna be the major thing. Like, CinemaCon is going. I wish I had the money. I wish I had, so I could fly over there, buy a ticket at CinemaCon. Even though I know Vegas and a CinemaCon ticket is insane, I would totally want to see in person what is Netflix's plan of the actual. Because if I'm a theater owner, I'm still freaking out. I'm hearing like, yeah, you'll keep it. You'll keep it in the theatrical business, but then you're like, yeah, sure. But in the back of your head, you're like, yeah, sure. So their job when Warner Brothers or it's Netflix or whatever go, if it's one of the or both of them goes to CinemaCon, they both say, "Trust us, we are going to be about the movie going sense. We are going to put our movies in theaters. Trust us, trust us, trust us." So, and look, for a little bit, Amazon wasn't going to be um wasn't putting their movies in theater. I think like a movie, maybe a movie, but they weren't doing that. And then all of a sudden they buy MGM, and then they're trying to at least make at least like 15 movies a year. I think at least it's like I think 12 movies a year or 10 movies a year, something on those lines. And I always had this theory that with these acquisitions and mergers, that maybe it's a sign that you know, the 20th Century Fox, the Warner Bros. And the Paramounts and all that kind of stuff. That's phase one of Hollywood, and the movie studios and Netflix and Amazon is basically just the new studios. They're phase two of the industry. That's what my mindset is. But for the love of God, they better put them in theaters. Anyway, let's continue reading this. Set deals to release its films in theaters through 2029 in its near term. Netflix has signaled it would keep HBO as a uh, dis. Dyslexia is kicking in. The distance service, while it's also tailored the addition of HBO and HBO Max content to its lineup. What I think, if I had to guess, is that if you want to watch HBO, if you want to watch like Sopranos and Game of Thrones, those like the classics of HBO, of Broadway Empire, you can watch it on HBO Max or Netflix. Pick your poison. But if you want to watch the new stuff, like you want to watch the Lanterns, I know it's going to take like 12, 18 months to go through this deal. But if you if you want to watch the new season of House of Dragon, or if you want to watch a new season, you want to watch the new Harry Potter show, or anything new DC related, like Lanterns, or this DC crime show, or this the V Vendetta show that got announced a couple of weeks ago. Like, if you want to watch anything, or the new season of White Lotus, like anything new, you watch on HBO Max. But anything that's archived and completed, you you can watch it on Netflix or HBO. That's what my mindset is. HBO Max is for the new stuff, yeah, and everything else is for the more. Um, because look, there's always a bit of crossover. If you go one streaming service, there's some content that's still the same for the other. So, I I think that's what it's going to be. Through it. Anyway, let's continue reading this article. Of that. Okay. There's a quote. By adding the deep film and television libraries, HBO and HBO Max programming, Netflix members will have even more high quality titles from from which to choose. The company said. This also allows Netflix to optimize its plans for consumers, enhancing viewing options and expanding access to content, which I have to put out there. I'm wondering this is them saying, yeah, we might need to start doing this quantity over quality nonsense. We need to prove our content. Yes, we're kicking ass with TV, but like with every probably like with every Stranger Things or every adolescence, we're also dealing with, is it lava? You know, with every Irishman, we're doing stuff like, oh, well, I wasn't really crazy about Irishman, but with every Frankenstein, you're dealing with, I don't know, the electric state. Like it's just they need to understand, like, how do you keep people on? How do you keep? And this is probably their chance of Netflix's response. This is probably them trying to stop churning. What's churning? Which is simply this: you only buy, you only get Netflix. This is use Netflix. You only use Netflix when something you want to watch. So, Stranger Things season 5 has just started. We just finished, the first 4 episodes came out last week. You are able, and you have to wait for a couple of weeks for the next 3, and then a couple of days for the final episode, right? That is them basically the moment Stranger Things is done, you turn off the streaming service. You turn off Netflix unless it's something that comes out that interests you in that short period of time, and that they want to avoid. They want to fix that, and knowing that, hey, there's a new HBO show, it fixed that. Hey, there's a new DC show. You after that, having big Warner's content in their service will actually make people not wanting to turn off their subscription, because, like, oh, I finished Wednesday. Oh shit, the new season of White Lotus is on. Yeah, it's coming out next week. Let me give it a go. Now, it'll be interesting if they're going to try to do the whole binging thing with HBO, which I fucking hope not, because the reason that the reason binging, as much audiences love it, is not good for business is because it adds more viewers. It doesn't. It's the water cooler thing. The more, essentially, the more you have people by week, the more people talk about your show, the more chances each week people are going to watch it. And sure, you can, you might have a small percentage of people who actually will want actually to watch it all, but we'll take that as you may. Anyway, the cash and stock transition value. Oh, sorry. The cash and transition value. A transition is a value of 27.75 per share of Waba's Discovery. The deal is expected to close the next 12 to 18 months, as I speculated, unless Paramount wants to, which probably will happen. Will want to play sour grapes because they didn't get what they want, because rich people. The company said after previous announcement of the separate of Waba's Star Wars network division, TV network division, Discovery Global, into a new public trade company, which is now expected to complete its third quarter in 2026. Under the terms of the agreement, each WB shareholder will receive 23.75, my guess is billion, in cash and 4.5 in share of Netflix's common stock. For each share of WB of Robert's Discovery. Common stock outstanding at the growth of transition. The transaction of unforeseen approval by the board of directors for both Netflix and Robert's Discovery. The deal is combined of the competition of the spin-off at a spin-off at a Discovery Global has set minority approval. The approval of the deal by the shareholders and other customary closing contribution. According to the companies, the organization, the opposition that brings together two primary entertainment businesses, combining Netflix's contribution, global reach, and the best-class streaming service. Is a service with Warner's century-long legacy of a world-class storytelling, beloved franchises, shows, and movies such as Big Bang Theory. I would say that's a bold class storytelling, Big Bang Theory. But anyway, The Sopranos, Game of Thrones, The Wizard of Oz, and the DC Universe will join Netflix's expansive portfolio, including Wednesday, Money Heist, Bridgerton, adolescents and extraction, creating an absolute entertainment offerings of audiences worldwide. If I hear fucking Stuyvers, I'm going to split my head off. I'll say, what the fuck? The deal announced did not say any what role, if any, David Zaslav, the president and CEO of what was the salary, will have a assault above the contribution of the deal. Zaslav was set to become CEO of a standalone what was entirely. I think he's staying on. He's staying on, or at least as a consultant. He's staying on for a bit. I think his contract. I think he came out. His contract ends like in 2029, so 2030 he could leave. So if he's, he can stay on because once again, I'm like, if you're Zaslav, you just the Harry Potter show is film has started filming. The DC universe, you brought the DC universe out of the mud. Why would you want to leave now? You want to see those things and your babies, your projects reach the finish line, or at least close to the finish line that you know that it's going to cross the finish line when you leave. So anyway, so here's more statements. Our mission has always been to retain the world. Okay, said Ted Lasso, co-CEO of Netflix, in a statement. By combining Warner's incredible library of shows and movies from timeless classics like Casablanca, which I finally saw this year, and Citizen Kane, which I have not seen this year, and Citizen Kane just feels like a movie that I feel like, is it really that great, or is every film person anyway? Anyway, Casablanca and Citizen Kane to modern favorites like Harry Potter and Friends, with our pop culture defying titles like Stranger Things, K-pop Demon Hunter, and Squid Game. We are be able to do that even better together. We can give audiences more of what they love and help to find the next century of storytelling. And now we go another quote from Greg Peer, who's also another co-CEO at Netflix. Ted Sarandos is like the one that everybody talks about. But anyway, Warner's has helped to provide entertainment for more than a century and continues to do with potential creative executives and production capabilities. With our global reach and proven business model, I want to say proven, but anyway, we can introduce broader audiences to the worlds that they can create, giving our members more options, attracting more fans to our best-in-class streaming service, strengthening the entire entertainment industry, and more creative value for shareholders. I just realized that they add the whole cinema thing. It's like, how many times has K-pop Demon Hunters been, released in theaters for the sing-along thing? How many times? It's hinting. It's basically they want to be in theaters. They want to do the cinema game. The signs are there. It's just people just not taking them seriously. That's it. Zaslav said in a statement today's announcement combines two of the greatest storytelling companies in the world. I want to say Netflix is that, but I want to say Netflix is on that level of you guys. But anyway, in the world, to bring to even more people like entertainment that they love to watch the most. For more than a century, Warner has filled audiences and captured the world's attention and shaped our culture by coming together with Netflix. Will assure people everywhere will continue to enjoy the world's most hidden stories for generations to come. And then the final quote is about the TV network plans, which, let's be honest, who cares? It says, in June of 2025, Warner's Starry announced plans to separate streaming and studios business under the Warner's banner and TV network group as the Starry Global into two separate public trade companies. This separation is now expected to be completed in the third quarter of 2026, prior of the closing of the Netflix transaction. The newest separate Starry Global, headed by current WB Starry CFO, will include Aspire's properties, including CNN. Thank God. I want to say thank God Paramount didn't get it because CNN. TNT Sports in the US and at Discovery Free to air channels in Europe. And digital products includes Discovery Plus and was it Breach Report, whatever Breach Report is. The only thing did I mention this? I don't think I mentioned this. Apparently, there's a rumor going around that because the BBC is looking for a new international streamer for Doctor Who. I'm curious, how does it go work there? Like, is Doctor Who going to be HBO Max or is it going to be on Netflix? Because of if that's because if with this deal, if I was BBC, I'd be like, what the fuck is happening here? But if there's I wouldn't be shocked. Doctor Who will become a HBO show for international viewers. That's what it will become. That's what it will be. But anyway, but yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot of like, oh, thank God, HBO will be a thing, still be a thing. At least for the next 4 or 5 years, they'll release movies in theaters. Of course, once again, 12, 18 months, a lot of things can happen in 12, 18 months that makes these companies not to buy, and not to give, not to buy, but not to, for this merger to be a thing. But look, as I said before in part one, Mike Ashley and Mike Luca and the child, James Gunn and Peter Safran will keep their jobs because, and Mike DeLuca and Paul Pam Dabney, who's the child of the movie division at Warner Brothers, they're part of the package deal. The reason you want to buy Warner Brothers is because they come along with it. So everything is going to be fine at this point. And once again, a lot of things can happen in 12 to 18 months. I think Paramount is going to have a bit of a fight. Definitely, yes, and we'll have a bit of a hissy fit that might pause it a little bit, make it at least probably 2 years at least. And of course, we won't see probably official changes until 2020, till 2030, honestly, or 31. So, anyway, comment below. It's a lot to tackle. I had a lot of thoughts about what could happen, what it could mean, X, Y, and Z. But comment below. Let me know your thoughts, and don't say the story of the Snyderverse because it's not happening. To quote Superman, "Bury it. It's dead. Move the fuck on with it." Jesus Christ, on a pepper stick.